It's the weekend and you have financial questions that need answering. That can only mean one thing. It's time for Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. This is the program that takes the mystery out of your financial life. The way that we do that is we ask you to do a little bit of work. You just need to go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us live, all you need to do is check the box. Mark will do everything else. Hey, while you're on the website, don't forget, you can sign up for our free weekly newsletter. It comes out every Friday, a wonderful way to get ready for this program. Right now, let's get the show started. Let's talk to Jessica from Seattle. Hello, Jessica. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Of course. What's happening? What's going on?
Well, I've had a long career in technology, and as of late, my partner and I have thought about running off to Europe. Yes, and that may be temporary. It could be part-time. It could be permanent. And what I would love to do is take, about a year and have us go explore that opportunity.
I hope one of you has a lot of money saved. Since you said you've had a long career in tech, I'm thinking you might be the one who has the lots of money socked away. Is that the case?
We sort of are diversified with real estate and cash. And yes, I have saved quite a bit of it.
Great. Jessica, how old are you?
I will be 52 in January.
Do you have any kids that we have to worry about?
I do. He's 24 years old, and so the worrying is subsiding, but still a factor.
Are you supporting the 24-year-old, or is the 24-year-old really launched?
I mean, he's on my phone plan and health insurance, but I am not paying any day-to-day living expenses.
You're not paying $1,000 a month in rent?
No.
Okay. All right. How old is your partner?
He is, he'll be 51 in October, just coming up on a birthday.
Okay, great. Have you guys combined your financial lives?
No, we have remained fairly independent. So we met about 5 years ago and have put our lives together. So we have estate planning and all of that taken care of, but we really do stay fairly independent in terms of our finances.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. So right now, are you working full time?
I am.
How much do you earn?
I'm in sales, so it's a variable comp, but if I look at my averages, it's, somewhere between 350 and 500.
Wow. Okay. And is he working right now?
He is a small business owner and he is working.
When we're talking about can we run away, are we going to combine all of your resources, or are you just looking at your own resources in this conversation?
So I am looking at my own resources. Now he's super generous about, like, I stop working, income stops coming. He's a lot more flexible. Mm-hmm. So he offers me, I guess, in the case of an emergency, I'm not going to fall on my face, but I really am interested in independently with what I've saved and what I have, where am I on the spectrum of full retirement, partial retirement, can we do this?
Okay, I got it. And you said you live together. Do you own real estate together?
No, we both own real estate, but not together.
Okay. So we're going to just talk about your real estate for right now.
Okay.
So the 24-year-old is they're on their own in terms of they're not living with you.
Correct.
Okay. So let's talk about your house. What is that house worth?
My home is worth about $680,000 to $700,000.
Okay. Is there a mortgage that still remains?
Yes, at $190K, and the rate is 2%.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're not selling that.
No.
Now, if you were to run away for a year, would someone rent it? Would someone stay there? How would you manage that asset?
So we're planning to go for about 4 months and then come back to the U.S. So the plan now is to just let it be.
Got it. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
With your current position, would you be able to take some sort of leave of absence, or would you have to just quit?
For various reasons, I would just quit.
Okay. Got it. So let's talk about the money that you've squirreled away. You've got money in a retirement plan through work, right?
Correct.
How much is in there?
So the current 401k is at 35,000.
Okay.
I have an IRA.
Okay. What's in there?
That is just about $1 million.
Okay. And that's from old jobs that you've rolled over, right?
Correct.
And
Yep.
that has not been taxed yet. This is all pre-tax traditional retirement money, right?
Correct.
Okay. Keep going. What else you got?
I've got a brokerage account that is about 1.5 million.
Whoa. All right. You go, girl. Okay.
And then I've got about 760K in high yield savings accounts.
Is that in anticipation of our runaway? Is that our runaway fund?
I wish I could say I was that well calculated. It was commission checks that had come in. We had intended to buy a home and thought, life has just sort of shifted. And we were like, gosh, what if we just,
What if we just ran away?
Yeah. And then it would mean working not at all or working less. And that is actually more exciting than a cool house.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay, so if you look at your spending right now in your fancy career, making you 350 to 500 grand with your house, which actually is fairly affordable for Seattle, to be honest with you, what are you looking at in terms of expenses right now?
Yeah, I put together a plan for this year. Basically, for the year, my total expenses came, to like 90,000.
Okay, that's not bad.
And on a regular, month in the US, it's, like really, I put a lot in there and it's like 8,500 a month. And so, somewhere in that neighborhood, I'd be quite comfortable.
Okay. Any other real estate besides your primary residence?
None.
Okay. So this is what we got. We got the kid, whatever. Expenses with your kid don't seem like it's that big a deal in terms of, for a couple more years, keeping someone on your insurance. Although if you leave this job, then we have to get you health insurance.
Right.
Right. So that's going to add. And your kid, is your kid employed?
Somewhat.
Somewhat enough to get health insurance or not?
He does have health insurance through his dad.
Oh.
So he is covered. I don't have to worry about him. I have budgeted, $500 to $750 a month for health insurance going forward, assuming I don't have a job.
The $8,500 a month, does that include the health insurance or not?
It does.
Okay, great. Perfect. Have you done any exploration of what it would cost you to run around for 4 months, playing? Would you look at one home base? Would you, say, I'm going to get a long-term rental, or like, how do you want to think about the next 4 months?
I've done a bit of budgeting on that, and I think it's going to cost me, about $7,600, $8,000 a month in Europe.
Okay. We'll get back to Jessica in just a minute. If you've got a question, if you want to run off somewhere great, go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. You're listening to The Jill on Money Show.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here trying to help guide you as you go along your financial journey. I know we are now heading into the big time holiday season. That does not mean that you have to just blow out your whole financial plan. If you need some assistance, if you need some guidance, get in touch with us. Just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, give us a lot of detail. If you're shy and you're not going to come on the air, otherwise, check the box and Mark will arrange to bring you on with us. And that is the most fun. We love having you with us. Right now, let's get back to Jessica from Seattle.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, the whole trip, if I budgeted $25,000, I'd probably have a really nice time. And
You know what I was doing in my mind, just because I do these kinds of things. I am conservative. If you listen to the program, so I'm thinking, that the high yield savings of 760. I just think you're going to burn up 60 grand. Like that's my European adventure is 60 grand. Okay, and then the question is, I guess that we would have to also pay a certain amount of expenses. We have to pay for your house and taxes and all that kind of stuff, right?
Mhm.
So even if you said 25 grand, I still have all these other expenses, right?
when I did this budget,
Mm,
I have included my U.S. expense.
I don't believe it. All right.
Really?
No, I'm only kidding. I'm just still going to say 60. We're going
Okay.
to spend 60. Okay?
Okay.
Now it's 4 months, 6 months later.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to know what happens when I come back, right?
Yes.
And the question is, can your money generate your 8,500 a month or 9,000 a month, whatever it is, ends up, that you would need for the rest of your life? And, look, I'd like to say no sweat, but you're really young. And, I hope you have lots of longevity in your genes, but not knowing what your partner's part of this, but if your expenses, Jessica's expenses are 8,500 a month, we're going to have to be willing to spend down some money. I don't know how you feel about that in terms of, could you just start, from 52 to 59, spend some money from your high yield savings account and your brokerage, and then pull money out of your IRA, and then do that for a number of years, and then, wait until Social Security. I don't know if you're going to make it 100%. Mark, I bet you're running some numbers for me as I yak about this. Can we generate $8,500 a month for Jessica for the rest of her life? In other words, when she comes back from her European adventure, does she have to get a job?
It's very, very close. I mean, can it happen? Probably, but every single thing has to go right. There's like really no wiggle room. And, a lot of that money's sitting in cash. You got to get it to work.
Right. So if you're saying to us, hey, what happens if I come back in 4 to 6 months? You come back, you've spent 60 grand, everything's cool. And you're like, that was fun. I want to move there. The answer is then you're going to have to make some different decisions, right? Because then you would have to basically decide, can I live in Europe for a lower cost than the US and never work again? I think what would be more likely is you go take your romp, you have an amazing time, you return, you get a job that maybe where you don't have to make as much money, because you are making a ton of money, right? 350 to, can you work less and make $1.75 and let all of your money just work for you and spend the money for your expenses and, make sure the kid's okay and like you're living your life? That to me seems like a more realistic way to approach this, or at least thinking about it that way, because that way we don't have to basically hope that every single thing goes correct and right, and that you have a little bit of, you build in some fluff in the plan. Do you think that you could be amenable to doing something like that?
Absolutely. And the question is it, something I really love to do that's outside of tech completely? And if it's 50,000, does that solve it? Or do I need to sort of earn more in the 175? Because that's very possible as well. It's just that spectrum of, can I really go do something I love? Like I'm, just totally outside of tech, or do I need to kind of bite the bullet and say, yeah, you're going to have to do a job?
Well, I mean, 50, if you had some other benefits, could be great. So think of it this way. Like we would have to see what you got. I'll give you an example. A guy came on the program and he's like, I work in tech, but he worked at a university. And in his case, he worked in tech in a university and they put away a ton of money in his retirement account. So he made closer to like 100 grand a year, but they were putting away 15% regardless into retirement for him. And it took a lot of the burden off him. Then he could just spend his money, right? And so I think it depends on what we're comparing it to. If you're telling me, it's 50 grand a year and I'm a docent at the museum and I'm still spending exactly the same amount of money, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about that. I'm more comfortable in the 100 range. You don't have to kill it. But if you can go, even if you said, look, I know how to do, this is the thing that I think about for myself. I'm just going to put myself in your shoes. I am a salesperson by training. I really am. I was a trader, but I was really in sales. When you're a financial planner and someone who is an investment manager, you're selling people on your services. Mm-hmm. And so I've always thought this is a skill that nobody likes to think is a skill. They're like, no, you're just in sales. I'm like, actually, it's a skill. And you have that skill. And it is a magic skill, Jessica. It is magic. People don't know how to do it. And if you are good at it, it may mean that you take that skill to something else. And it may be that you say, maybe it's just a different kind of a company. Maybe you're in a big, huge company now. You don't want to be in that anymore. And you want to be in a smaller company. Maybe you want to sort of work in startup land where you're like, you know what? I want to have fun again. I want to feel like I'm part of whatever it is. But if you want to go outside of what your industry is, I would be careful not to throw away just how important that skill is of selling, because I think that is quite valuable no matter where you go.
That makes sense. And this aligns pretty well with what I've been thinking as well, to do something. And the question is what, and what are the requirements of that? And I think I have a much better idea now. So,
well, and I think that you can do, what's cool is if you're really going to give your notice, I don't know when you get bonuses and all that kind of stuff, but you can use your time now to start like working that network, firing it up, talking to people, seeing what's out there. It's funny. I have a friend of mine who has worked in like health tech his whole life. Mm-hmm. And every time whatever business he's working in gets like almost medium size, he loses interest like so fast. And I know for him, it's like, I love the jazz of just like, I'm part of the beginning and it's exciting. And then there's other people I know who are like the exact opposite. Like all I want is like the comfort of a big, warm corporation that has really good benefits, that has so you can look around and see what's out there. But taking this break is not going to be terrible. I certainly don't feel like there's some people who I'm like, do not give up your job because it's hard to get a new one. But if you are in sales and you are in tech, you're always employable. You do.
Right.
So I think it sounds great. Where do you want to go first? When we talk about like, I want to go run away, mm-hmm. Where's our first destination?
We're actually going to do a trip to Japan, and then we're really heading to Portugal, and we're going to kind of move Portugal, Spain, France, Italy, and then hit the Ireland, Scotland on our way out.
So listen, before you go, of course, you're just making sure, buttoning up estate documents, mm-hmm. making sure you have your own healthcare taken care of, like all of these things, making sure the kid's set up, and just in your head, just say, okay, 700 grand in that high yield savings account. When you get back, when we know what your next step is, I think part of the plan will have to be getting that 700 grand to work.
Yes. Okay. That makes sense.
If you've got a question, if you need help with priorities, just go to JillOnMoney.com. We will be right back.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, the program that is trying to bring a little bit of humor a little bit of common sense, and a lot of empathy to whatever financial issue is going on in your life. And this is all about you, gang. It's not about me. It's not about Mark. We're not selling any product. I mean, maybe a book here or there, maybe a subscription to our Jill on Money live service. But in the end, this is a program that is about you. It is based on your needs, what is going on, and your ability to just reach out and get some help. So go ahead and do that at JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Right now, let's talk to Logan from Missouri.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Doing great. What can we do for you, sir?
Well, I have a bunch of questions, mainly focused on student loans and my retirement savings plan, of which I started very, very late in life.
You know what? It's okay. Sometimes the people I know who started late really come around and just supercharge things. So this is not a problem. We are here to help. So Logan, how old are you?
I'm 47.
Are you married, partnered, single? Where do you stand in that world?
Partnered.
Okay. And do you and your partner combine your finances?
We do only in our budgeting. We keep them separate, though, so I can spend my money, she can spend hers.
Okay, I got it. In other words, when we talk about when you have retirement and student loans, it's not like you're all one big happy family. You're contributing to household expenses, but not the bigger picture. You're not like, oh, she's got $800,000 in a bank account. She wants to pay off all my student loans. We're not there yet, right?
Not yet.
Darn it. I wish she had that. Okay. So, do you live together?
We do.
Okay, got it. All right. Do you own a home together?
Yes, we do have a mortgage.
Okay. What's the house worth?
$350.
Okay. And what is the outstanding mortgage amount?
Over half of that has been paid off.
All right. So, and do you know what the interest rate is?
I don't.
Do you remember when you bought it?
She actually bought it before we got together. We did do a little refinancing. I think she has got that old, wonderful 3%.
All right, I'll take it.
Interest rate. Yeah.
I love that. Perfect. Okay, now let's get to you. So, Logan, are you working full time?
I am.
How much do you earn?
$104K a year.
Okay, and do you make retirement contributions on that $104,000?
Yes, I am contributing at 15%.
Ooh, that's a lot. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up, and I have converted my 401k over into a Roth plan.
Ooh, great. How much is in that Roth 401k?
60,000.
And is there any other money that you have invested for retirement? An old IRA, an old retirement plan, anything else out there?
No.
Okay. No, don't worry. I hear your voice going down. I get it. It's all right. Now, the student loan situation. I bet there's a story here. So why don't you give me a little bit about where you stand in the student loans?
Okay. So I have $98,000 in graduate school debt. I do have 15 years of on-time payments, but the student loan repayment plan that I was on from the Biden administration has essentially disappeared.
Right.
And there are a lot of changes that are going on with the new administration that I think are going to reduce the student repayment options down to just 2 or 3 very, very basic plans.
Right. Right. That's what I understand as well. One is just going to be a plain old, like, here's what you owe and, here's your monthly payment. And the other is some sort of amount that would be based on your income. What's the payment that you have right now for the student loans?
Well, right now, because of some of the COVID era plans under the Biden administration, my student loan payment is set to 0 until August of next year.
Okay.
And I've called in and talked to the administration, the student loan administrators, and they can't tell me what my eventual repayment is going to be yet. So there's not really a way to budget for it.
Okay.
However, I also get an additional $24,000 a year from a VA disability. And if I take the entirety of that monthly payment, I will be able to pay off the entirety of my student loans before I hit that 20-year forgiveness.
Oh my God, but you don't know.
So yeah, that's my big question. Should I just bite the bullet and pay it all, or should I continue to make my on-time payments? And when I hit 20 years of on-time payments, file for having the rest of it wiped
Oh,
out.
man. Okay, so we have 5 years to go. Could be a whole new administration. You never know. Could be like
Yeah.
a whole new program. I'm inclined not to pay it all off. That's so unlike me because I like certitude. But, I mean, look, you can take that 24 grand a year of disability and sock it away and create kind of a sinking fund so that if you had to, because right now, what happens to that 24 grand a year? Where does that go?
Right now, I'm trying to save as much of it as possible.
So how much do you have in savings right now?
Right now, I've got about 8,000 in savings, and that's just in a regular credit union savings account that is only earning 0.01 interest. So I also wondered, should I take all of that savings out and put that in a Roth IRA and something that's high yield?
No, not high. No, I don't want it in the Roth. I need availability, don't I? I've got 5 years, right? Is this the only savings you have?
On top of just my regular checking account that's got about 6,000 in it.
Does the credit union have CDs? Maybe we could just throw some of the money in CDs, right?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so maybe I would do that. You need access to your money. I mean, you do need an emergency reserve fund. Does your partner make a ton of money and I don't really have to worry about an emergency? I don't want to be stupid about this. So,
we're pretty equal. She does have an emergency fund. We both made a plan of having half a year's spend saved up in case of something happening.
What's your half year spend equate to?
I would want about 30,000.
We'll get back to Logan in just a minute. If you have a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here listening to what is on your mind. What's going on in your life? How does that impact your money? And look, we know that this is emotional stuff. Of course, we're human beings, and money is loaded with so much expectation and anxiety, and you don't have to go through whatever thing you're going through by yourself. Just go to our website, JillOnMoney.com, and in the upper right-hand corner, there is a Contact Us button. When you click that button, a form will pop up, and that's the email that we receive. Again, if you're shy, you don't think you're going to be coming on the program, give us a lot of detail. Otherwise, we might ask you to follow up with us. If you do want to come on the program, check the box. Mark will do everything else because he is the very best executive producer in the entire world. Trust me, I've worked with a lot of producers out there. He's the best. Right now, let's get back to Logan from Missouri. So we have to get that disability into the savings and savings specifically. And if you can go to a high yield savings, if they offer that, you can go online, you can go to depositaccounts.com and you can open up an online high yield savings account, but you need to have access to your money. You really do. So I think that until you get to this $30,000 savings level, I wouldn't put the money in a Roth. I just would like you to have access.
Gotcha.
Just in case, right? That's what emergency reserve is. Now, in terms of the 5 more years, next year, we don't know what your payment's going to be, right? For all intents and purposes, that's another reason just to keep the savings, as bulked up as you can. I think it's fine to put 15% into the Roth. I think you should be using every available dollar and put it into savings, but do make it high yield or throw some money in a CD. Ask. Sometimes credit unions will give you a better deal. If you ask, you can find out what they have available. And if not, you can always go to an online high yield savings or money market account. it's so weird because you have this 5-year period. We don't know. Ostensibly, you would have said, well, if I make 5 years of payments, so if next year I'm off, off the hook for another year, I can beef up my savings. Then I start paying. Let's just pretend it's, I don't even know, $1,000 a month. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You pay that for another 4 years. And at the end of that 4 years, you either would have two different things happen. One is like, hey, you owe us all this money, or maybe you don't. And I would like to preserve the optionality for don't. It's just that we need to have the money available so that you can make these payments and you can pay for the loan if you need to. And that's what you're going to do with your disability. If all of a sudden in a year from now, you're like, hey, Jill, I got my $30,000. Now what? Then you can open up a brokerage account and just start to put some money in there. But I think the most important thing today is to beef up that savings till it's 30 grand. I don't know, Mark, do you feel different? I know you probably would feel like much more comfortable if he just paid this off. But,
No way.
we're close though, right? We're
No.
close to the possible time here.
He's done 75% of the work. There's no way I'm paying it off right now. I'm going to wait another 5 years.
Yeah, there's no reason not to. And if you have the wherewithal to just be able to carry this emotionally, I think you're going to be fine. And even if not, we will be able to figure out like a plan before then. So here's what I want you to do, Logan from Missouri. I want you to be very focused on building up your savings while you're contributing to your Roth 401k. But in a year from now, when the clock starts ticking again, I want you to get back in touch with us. I want to know what that payment looks like in a year.
Okay.
That's going to be your next decision point. Okay.
Mhm.
And we'll go. And like, if it's $2,000 a month, because all of a sudden they're like, well, we got to figure out how this dude's going to pay us back in the next 4 years, then you will use your disability payment to just make those payments. But let's see what it comes back with. We don't know. It's so crazy. This is insane to switch policies like this midstream on people. It really is. So I'm sorry you have to go through that. Can I ask you a nosy extra question?
Absolutely.
You're partnered. Do we have some estate documents? Are you at that point? Like, what happens if your partner who owned the home, if she were to pass away, would you be the inheritor of that house?
Yes, she has set that up in her will that I would be.
Okay. And do you have a will that sets her up as, well, you need a will, but you don't, your largest asset is the $60,000 Roth 401k. So she's the beneficiary of that?
Yes, she is.
All right. Do you have your documents otherwise? Like, who gets to pull the plug?
Oh, no. And I haven't set up a will. It's
So you should
definitely
do
something
that.
I should do.
You should do that. Then you know what? You're a grown up now. Now you have to
Yeah.
do it. I'm sorry to say. Logan, go get yourself. If you have that as a corporate benefit, that's a nice thing to use, estate planning. So get that done. A will, a power of attorney, and a healthcare proxy. That's it. That's all you need. And
Awesome.
I encourage you to do that. Also, it's very strange. I don't know what the law is in Missouri, but when you're not married, the funny thing is that the law is kind of thorny with estate issues. So it is better to get something down on paper. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm just going to go Zen with you, man. 5 more years.
I know. It's so close.
It's so close. And so much can change, as we've just seen over the past 5 years when it comes to student loans. So stay in touch, keep us posted, and let us know if there's any further information we can help you with. All right.
Oh, I will happily do so. Thank you.
If you have a big decision that you are trying to contemplate, maybe it's a new job, maybe you're thinking about buying a home, maybe you're thinking about upsizing or downsizing, maybe you're trying to pay for your kids' college, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you want to join us live, check the box. You're listening to Jill on Money. You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, where we are trying to help you find a better way forward. And for each of you, that means something different. So if something is going on in your life and you're trying to figure out what are my financial priorities, how do I get to this next place, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and give us lots of details so we can help you out. If you'd like to join us live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. So let's get to an email. This is from Chad, who writes, my spouse and I have been battling credit card debt for over 3 years now. Balance transfers to new cards became the new normal. It felt so good to be free of those overbearing interest rates and the fees. But that card had credit to spend now, and we used the cards again. It was a major mistake. Now we have $30,000 in credit card debt. I've started a debt relief program. I'm 1 year into it, and it has helped me lower monthly payment fees, and the company I'm working with has negotiated 4 cards to half the balance. It's working. But again, my wife is holding more cards with monthly balances. We are now paycheck to paycheck, and one of her cards might now go from delinquency to collections. We own a home with a mortgage. We do not have car payments. Is our next option bankruptcy? Now, look, Chad, I'm not a lawyer, so let's get that out first. That said, I think talking to a bankruptcy attorney and understanding what your options are might be really good for you at this point. It's not going to be a panacea. You guys have to go in this together and really be clear about what the downside is, meaning you will not be able to apply for credit for, probably 4 or 5 years, that the bankruptcy itself will probably mean you won't have the convenience of credit cards. You'll have to use maybe secured cards to rebuild your credit. It's going to be a lot. So make sure that you are talking to a qualified bankruptcy attorney who can really lay out what options you have. I hope that helps. I'm so sorry you're going through this rough time. If you're coming up against it, get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. We'll be right back.
It's the weekend, and that can only mean one thing. You're listening to Jill on Money, the show that takes the mystery out of your finances. Here's your host, Jill Schlesinger.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Jill on Money Show, where we are trying to help you make better, sometimes just less bad financial decisions. Let's kick off the hour. We are talking to Chris, who is listening to us in New Hampshire. Hey, Chris, what's going on? How can we help you out?
First of all, thank you so much for taking my call. I feel like I'm talking to a couple of rock stars because I absolutely love your show.
Oh, you're very sweet. We're just regular people. Don't worry, Chris. Just you and me talking with the millions of others, maybe thousands.
Well, you help a lot of people, and hopefully you can sort of help me out today too. So I appreciate it.
Fantastic. What's up?
Well, I first reached out to you guys wondering if it was time for us to get a financial planner and if it made sense. And in that time frame, in the last couple of weeks, we actually did go ahead and get one.
Okay.
So my first question would be, once we go through things, did we make the right move in our situation? I feel good about it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And then the other big question is, am I good to stop working? My confidence is not there, just with everything going on in the world right now, and we're going to need health care, the price of that, and the government shutdown, and Social Security.
It's so much. It's too much. It really is. So, Chris, how old are you?
I'll be 59 next year, and my wife is 60.
Okay. And
next year. I'm sorry, next month.
Oh, next month. Okay. So I'm just going to say you're both 60. Let's do that.
Okay.
And are you both working full time?
No, my wife is retired. She retired a number of years ago. And I am still working. I actually took a pseudo retirement about 3 years ago, and then found out all my friends were still working. So I decided I had an opportunity to go back. So I'm working again, but I'm very bored and want to stop.
Wait a minute. It's like, I have nobody to play with. You should have gotten some older friends is what you should have done.
Yeah.
So
it was a little embarrassing actually, but
did you go back to the same place?
No. I had some friends who I used to work with who called me out of the blue and said, "We have this opportunity. Is this something that would interest you?" And I said, "You know what? Right now it does." And so I
Okay.
jumped on board, and here I am.
All right. How much are you earning right now?
Between 225 and 250.
Okay. And let's go through what you guys have saved and determine whether or not you really can do retirement for real this time. So, you said your wife is retired. Does she have a pension, or is she retired and have just retirement accounts?
Just a retirement account. She was a teacher, but she worked part-time.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So, what have you guys amassed in terms of your assets? Let's go through and do retirement first.
okay. So 401k, I have 410.
Okay.
We have a rollover IRA of 1.775.
Oh, that's the old job. I got it.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
A Roth of 104.
Okay.
My wife, her 403b just rolled over to an IRA. That's 561.
Okay. That's good. Very good.
And then we have a brokerage of 750. So then
Okay.
that's 370 is in a high yield savings, and 380 is in a bunch of miscellaneous stocks. Now that we've moved over to our CFP, who moved everything around a little bit.
Okay, got it. But half is savings, which is good. And beyond that brokerage savings, that three something, do you have other money that's in the bank, boring CDs, something on the side?
Let's see, checking and savings 40,000,
Okay.
HSA 6,000.
How about the amount of money that you spend?
So it's been a tough one because we moved into a new house a couple of years ago. So there's been tons of renovations. So I've been trying to figure it all out.
Mhm.
It's somewhere around 13 to 13 and a half, I would say.
Okay.
And that's one of my concerns, is because we'll need health insurance. And so
Right.
when I do my numbers in my head, I'm like, okay, we're probably more around 15 for the next
Mhm.
6 years or so.
Right. All right. Well, let's see how this works out.
Okay.
Tell me about the house. How much did this house cost? Or what's it worth right now?
It's worth about 1.3.
And do you have a mortgage?
We do not.
This is good. And is there anything else in your financial life that we should know about? Do you have a vacation home or rental property or anything like that?
Well, we had a vacation home / rental property. Actually, I reached out to you guys last year, but we ended up, we didn't touch base, which was fine. We ended up selling it about 2 months ago, which is why I have a good amount in our brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have that anymore. The other thing, I guess, I hate even talking about it or bringing it up, but it will be inheritance down the road.
Why do you hate it? It's just reality.
Well,
I know we're not counting on it, but if you have parents of some means and you think that it is likely that, it does change the trajectory. You hear me ask this question. Hey, do you have someone you have to take care of? It's the inverse of that. So it's just data. I know you're not wishing anyone ill or death on anybody, but like, what do you suspect?
It's probably 8 to 10 years and probably between 1.5 and 2. But
Okay.
so I've been putting it in my head as maybe $1 million just to play it safe.
Yeah. That makes sense to me. And but no one needs your help, obviously, because there's some money that's out there, right? In terms of your parents. Okay.
No one needs our help. And our kids are both launched and they're doing well. So that's all good.
Okay, great. Is there anything big coming up in terms of your spending that would argue for you to continue pseudo retirement job back to work moment? In other words, do you feel like, oh, you know what? I really do have like another $100,000 on this house to do. And like, maybe I should just do that.
The house is done. We have a wedding next year, which we're contributing about 50,000 to.
Oh, you got off cheap.
I know.
God.
Very
I
happy.
hate to say that because I know people, you're hearing this, but these weddings are insane, everybody. I'm just saying it right now. Okay.
Yeah.
You have a lot of money because of this this rollover, obviously. And the 401k and the rollover and the 403b that has been rolled over. This is all your pre-tax money, right?
Correct.
Hasn't been
The only
taxed
thing
yet.
that's not is the Roth, the 104. Correct.
Okay. Now, has there been a conversation with your advisor about a strategy to extract this money?
Well, we just signed up with the planner.
Okay.
So we actually have a meeting sitting down with them or him in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really in the initial stages. So he
Mm-hmm.
wants all of our expenses and all that stuff. And so we haven't had that conversation yet, but I feel really good. Can I say where it's at? Does that matter?
Sure. Yeah, why not?
So it's at Fidelity.
Oh,
And
okay.
we have all our money at Fidelity. I
Mhm.
moved everything there, which makes it nice and easy.
Yep.
It's right down the road from our house, which is
Yep.
great. I know the person, so I
Ah.
feel good. We feel really good about all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't had those conversations yet, which is one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, because I trust you guys more.
Yeah. I mean,
this
listen,
point.
you're going to have this conversation. I mean, I think that there is a question that if you were to step down, right? How are we producing? I'm going to go back one step. Are you and your wife both in good health?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm assuming that the game plan would be something like this. And maybe your advisor will have something different, but I think that the game plan would be something like, okay, we have 10 years before you're both going to claim Social Security, right?
Yep.
Ish. Do you know what your Social Security benefit is about?
I do. That's 67.
Mhm.
Mine is 37.16, and my wife is 21.68, so 58.84. At 70, which is what my plan is
Yep.
I'm 46.08 and she's 26.88, so 7,300 basically.
We'll get back to Chris in just a minute. It's Jill on Money.
Back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger helps you take the mystery out of your finances.
You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, the program that tries to take the mystery out of your financial life. If you've got a question, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Let's get back to Chris from New Hampshire. I mean, so here's what we have to think about. And your advisor will probably weigh in on this. And a lot of the Fidelity advisors I've been talking to some of them offline, and they've been talking about, you know, this may be a case where using an annuity for some of the rollover money, because they can buy low cost annuities. So would there be a use case, potentially, yes, of buying an annuity for part of the rollover, the 1.775 and your wife's 560, using some of that money to fund an annuity where you get essentially paid, right? You're going to get a salary for the next 10 years where you can cover your 15 grand a month. Would that be sufficient for you guys, or some portion of that, and be able to kind of get yourselves to your Social Security age of 70, where you're going to have this 7,300, and where, you know, obviously by the time you're 65, then you have Medicare, but, you know, it's still going to be expensive. It's not going to be as expensive as the years before that, but for the next 5 years, you know, you'll pay up, you'll be okay. Then you have the money that you need. And then in 10 years, what would you be left with? Some leftover money from the retirement accounts, because you do have a lot, $2.8 million, a lot of money that you have. I think I added that up correctly. And that you then have the Roth that keeps going. You haven't touched your brokerage. The advisor will run some scenarios, but I think that's probably, even if they don't use an annuity, I think that the idea is you take the money out in these substantially equal installments to get you through the next 10 years, which solves the problem of your tax bomb that is potentially going to go off.
Right.
And that, you know, honestly, at the end of that period, there'll be some inheritance. So even if you depleted everything, okay, which you're not going to do, but let's say that you depleted half of your retirement money, your non-taxed retirement money, and you end up in 10 years and you got, say, $1 million, $1.5 million that's still left. And then you get an inheritance eventually, and you've got your house and you've got your Social Security. So it kind of sounds like it works to me. Again, I think that an advisor will have a much more detailed analysis of what could go wrong, but I think that's kind of the game plan. And I imagine that that's what you thought the game plan was, right?
You know, yeah, it sounds much better when you say it.
Why is that? You're doing right. You're doing great.
I think, you know what, I've always done all my finances, our finances myself.
Yeah.
And so it's just gotten to a point. I'm one of those people where I got kind of addicted to it, looking at the market every day, looking at literally every day, looking at our balance at Fidelity.
Dude, you got to
like,
stop that. You got to
I
stop
know
that.
it's driving me absolutely crazy. And that's what I want to stop. And that's the main reason we got somebody, because I don't know how to take the money out. I don't know, all those decisions. It would drive me crazy. So I need a professional to do that.
Yeah. And I think you've done a really good job of managing this. I mean, obviously, without the inheritance, I would tell you to keep working, by the way. I really would,
Really?
because I think that's your little bunny at the end of the 10-year period. Because, if you are going to spend 15 grand a month, which is not insignificant money, right?
Yeah.
That we need to make sure that you have enough of an asset base to be able to produce that. And, producing 180 grand a year ain't nothing. And you can see that you could spend all the money in your rollover account in 10 years pretty quickly, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So now if you pretend that's gone, then what are we left with? And again, this is crude math. It wouldn't be exact, but you're left with having about another $1 million in your current 401k, your wife's rollover, that's $1 million. Then there's the brokerage account, which would probably be at least $1 million by then, plus the inheritance. Now we're talking. So all of this is to say, do you have the permission structure for a real rather than a pseudo retirement? Yeah, I think you will. I would just double check with you. The big question to say to a financial planner is, what am I guarding against? What am I not seeing? Tell me how this plan implodes. What's like you just to understand it, you may choose to take the risk. They may say, okay, you know what, we ran this number, but like stock market goes down by 40% next year or in the next few years, you got problems. And you want to know that. You may say, okay, I'll live with it. You may be able to live with that risk. But my number one question for the advisor would be like, tell me what the scenario looks like if I retire at the end of this year. What's the game plan to get the money out of the retirement accounts? And what blows this plan up? Those are the questions.
Okay, that's very helpful.
Now, yes, go on.
I'm sorry. Healthcare. I know that's supposed to apparently go up. I don't know how much next year, but I think of things like that.
Yeah, you should, but you've already accounted for that because you said 13 to 13.5 a month, and then we went to 15.
Yeah.
It's not going to be more than $1,500 for the two. It's not. And, there are, if you got really bored again, you could go work and do something equally as boring and get coverage. You know what I mean? Like it could be also, Chris, that you say, you know what, this job I'm bored with, but I could do something else for 50, 60 grand a year just to keep my mind working. And, I've heard people do all sorts of really interesting things and it gives them access to health coverage and they'll do that for 5 years. So, maybe that's something that you could consider.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not, I don't think you're going to need it. I think you're going to be okay.
Okay.
I really
that's
do.
helpful. Yeah. I think I had it in my head that we're okay.
You are. You sound like a nervous Nelly. You're right up my alley. I am too. It's like, let me run this number another way. What if this happened? What if that happened? What if this happened? I know it can be very agonizing to live in that head of ours. We all do this. Okay.
Yeah.
But you got a house that's paid for. You sold the other house. The kids are launched. You got a little wedding coming up. And let's see what the Fidelity advisor says, because I think you're going to be pleased with any results of these scenarios that they lay out.
Okay.
Are you going to bum out your friends if you say I'm out of here?
Maybe a little bit, but that's okay. They'd understand.
Okay. What
Can
else?
I ask one quick question?
Sure.
I know that I was at 60-40 in everything that we had. And when I moved over to Fidelity, they're recommending 70-30.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
When they explained it to me, I'm like, okay, I guess because we have the brokerage, I'm trying to think of the reasons. I felt okay with it because it's a pretty substantial amount. I just didn't know. I thought I'd ask you too.
I think that it really depends on how you feel. Are you willing to forego upside to protect more of your downside? That's what you ask. And you might even say to them, okay, show me what this looks like if I'm 60-40 versus 70-30. Tell me what my outcome looks like. Then I think, you could have different choices. Listen, I'm always about what am I giving up on my upside and what's the trade-off there? What am I protecting against in the downside? They have all the data. I mean, believe me, everyone at Fidelity has this data at their fingertips, which is, here's what we look at any 30-year period. This is what we know, blah, blah, blah. But what I do think is if you feel like you want more comfort and you're willing to say, let me give you an example. They may say to you, well, 70-30, we feel very comfortable generating your 15 grand a month. But if the markets go down, could you do 12? Could you reduce your spending? Could you say, I'm not going to take a trip that year? Right. That may be something that you think about. Maybe you say, yes, I'm totally willing to do that. Or no, no way. And I'd rather have less money at the end of the day for the kids and the future grandkids and all that, and have a little more comfort today.
Right. Okay.
All right. It's not like right or wrong. It's how you feel. That's one of the few feeling questions that we have.
Gotcha. I like that. Okay. That's very helpful. Thank you.
You're doing great. Chris in pseudo retirement, bored in his back to work, going back for full retirement, not pseudo retirement. So good luck to you. Let us know how it goes. And if you have any follow-up questions after you have the meeting with the advisor, you let us know. Okay. Good.
I will. Thank you so much.
You're listening to the Jill on Money Show.
Do I invest here? Should I put my money there? Jill Schlesinger can help you. Back to Jill on Money.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show. Let's talk to Jim from Connecticut. Hello, Jim. What can we do for you?
Good morning, Jill and Mark. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Of course.
I am 55. My wife is 56, happily married. I would like your advice regarding retirement.
Okay.
We're planning to retire at the age of 60. That will leave me with 5 years and my wife 4 years. Funny, once my wife knew that you're going to take my call, and she said, can I retire at 57 or 58?
Oh, there. Now I see we're moving the goalpost. Once she found out. Okay, well, let's talk about where things stand, and maybe we can work backwards and determine if 5 years, works. And if it really works well, then maybe we can back it up and say maybe it's 2 or 3 years. So let's see. So you're 55, your wife is 56, you're both working. How much do you guys earn right now?
$315K a year.
Okay, that's great. Amazing. Are you both putting money into retirement plans?
We are currently putting in max to both our 403Bs. We're in healthcare. We're both nurses.
Okay. So you're maxing out your 403Bs with the catch-up contribution, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
And are those 403Bs the traditional or Roth versions?
They just offered the Roth, I believe, the other year, and we just joined this year.
Okay.
And my question is, should we just do full Roth, half, or do we need a tax deduction?
All right. Well, let's see. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second. How much money have you saved in those traditional 403Bs?
Combined for both of us is 1.9 million.
Wow. Amazing. And so the Roths probably don't have as much. How much is in the Roth 403B?
About 30K.
Okay. Do you have other retirement assets, meaning another Roth account or an old IRA account or anything else?
Yes, we have both. For Roth RIAs, pure Roth RIAs, we have about 300,000.
Okay.
We've been doing the back door for the past 4 or 5 years because we could not qualify anymore.
Yep.
And we have rollover RRAs from previous jobs, combined 150,000.
Wait a minute. I don't want to raise a red flag, but can I just raise a small red flag? Those old IRAs, they're sitting out there. that should generally prevent you from doing a backdoor Roth because you would be subject to the pro rata rule. So I want you to think about this. The old rollovers, can you roll them into your current traditional 403Bs?
I haven't asked that question.
Okay, so I want you to ask that question, and I do not want you to do a backdoor Roth anymore until we find that out. Because there is a rule. It's a very annoying rule. It feels like it shouldn't exist. But when you do a backdoor Roth, what are we doing? We are putting a post-tax, like we're putting an after-tax dollar into a non-deductible IRA account, right? And then immediately converting it to a Roth. So that's how a backdoor works. However, if you have old IRAs out there, the government says, well, you can't just do the backdoor Roth with no consequence. You would be subject to the pro rata rule, which would not allow you to convert the entire $7,000 or $8,000 that you're putting into that non-deductible IRA and then to the Roth. I don't think you need to kill yourself right now, but what I do think you should do is double check to see whether or not the 403B plan will accept your old rollovers. And if they say they don't, then stop doing the backdoor Roth. Just stop. Okay. All right. Let's move on. It's not a terrible thing. It's nothing, no one's going to chase you down and put you in jail for this. Okay. What about other assets? Do you have a brokerage account or anything else out there that we should know about?
Yes. We have a brokerage account. Combined amount is $235,000.
Great.
Currently, mostly in CDs, about 35% in individual stocks and a few mutual funds.
Okay. And you're managing this yourself?
Yes.
Okay, great. What else? Are you guys able to isolate how much money you're spending right now? Because you're saving a lot of money. Do you know what the spending amount is right now?
Yes. Living expenses would be, we're low maintenance people, about $3,000 to $3,500 a month.
What?
I would say 4,500 with, eating out and a little bit of here and there.
I'm going to give you $5,000 a month. Come on, live a little. All right.
Okay.
Are you guys entitled to pensions? Because you're a healthcare worker. Some of those places do have pensions.
Yes, both of us are grandfathered into a cash account pension plan or CAP. As of the other year, they stopped contributing, but it's earning interest. And the value of that would be, I believe, 250,000. And if we choose an annuity, it would be about 1,200 for me and 900 for her. But our question also with that portion of investment is, do we cash out at the age of 60 or roll it over to an IRA and have that problem? There might be a problem. Or just choose the annuity option.
Okay. All right. I got you. Very good. Okay. So we've got all the money. What about, all right. So I got the potential cash balance. We got all the retirement assets. You got brokerage. We know you only spend about $5,000 a month. Do you have savings besides your CDs in the brokerage account?
Yes, we have a credit union and our checking with about 75,000 in them. That should cover 1 year of expenses and surprise expenses.
Okay. Now, what about your actual home? How much would you say that's worth? And do you think if you're going to retire in 5 or fewer years, would you stay in that home?
No. Our home in Connecticut, it's about 450 in Zillow, but maybe 425 range.
Okay.
We do have a home in Texas.
Oh, how much is that house worth?
It's about the same, about 400 to 450 range.
We'll get back to Jim in just a minute. It's Jill on Money.
Welcome back to Jill on Money, where Jill Schlesinger takes the mystery out of your finances.
Welcome back. It's the Jill on Money Show, where we are answering your financial questions and sometimes helping you reframe those questions to try to get you where you want to go. Right now, let's get back to Jim from Connecticut.
My wife has family in Texas, and she would love to be closer with, with her family also, which I don't mind.
Okay.
We could live partly there and move back in Connecticut.
Yeah.
We do have our daughter in the East Coast, so we would
How
like
old
to
is your
be
daughter?
closer with her. She is 28 this
Oh,
year.
so she's a grown. As she launched, do you still support her?
Fully launched, fully independent, making out on her own very well. And she's
Great.
getting married in 2 years.
Oh, that's so nice. Mazel tov. That's great. Are you paying for this wedding? Do we have to set some money aside for the wedding?
Yes, we are planning to contribute about 50,000.
Okay, you got off easy, man. Just so I got this down. So you hope for 5 years from now, right? We know
Yes.
that in 5 years, when you are 60, you will have the option to annuitize these two pensions or take the cash out. We also know you've saved a boatload of money. We also know that you don't spend a lot of money. So we have to cover you for health care, and either if it's the Affordable Care Act for, say, 5 years. And so that would mean an extra $1,200 a month. Let's say $1,200 a month. Even if you want to, let's puff it up a little bit. Let's even just say $6,500 a month is what you would need. Okay. At your full retirement age, do you happen to know what the amount is that you would get for Social Security?
I believe it will be about 3,400 a month at 67.
Yep. And what about at 70?
I forgot.
Okay.
It could
And
be
what about- and
close
what
to
ab-
3,800.
And what about your wife? Similar, 3,400-ish?
She was mostly working part-time raising our daughter, so she is earning less for several years.
Okay.
So I believe she will get about 2,200 at 62, which she
Oh.
plans to take.
Why? Is
right
she in
away.
bad health?
No, but she just wants to, she said. And then if I die early, she said she will claim me. That's what she
Well,
told me.
unless she is in bad health, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. I think there's a different strategy here. Okay.
Please enlighten us.
Okay. So first of all, you're in very good shape. Mark, would you like to weigh in on how good shape Jim and his wife are trying to generate $6,500 a month for the rest of their lives? And we'll inflate that. But how do you think they're doing?
They're doing well, especially when you consider I personally would take the $2,000 a month as an annuity. So yeah, they got a good chunk of it.
Yeah, so I would too. This is a very different kind of plan than many people might be used to from the perspective of Jill and Mark. But I would annuitize those pensions. I don't know if you'll have options about the way that you annuitize. I hope it's not just for your straight life, but honestly, the best way to do the annuity would be to get it for a 10-year period certain, and you each have survivor benefits that you'll get the money out over the course of the years between your age 60 and 70. Okay. So I don't know if what you said to me when you said $1,200 a month, $900 a month, was that just for your whole lives? And if you drop dead the 2 days after, no one gets it?
I believe that was for straight annuity. We do have the option with survivorship. I believe it drops down to quite less, like 1,000 or 900 and change.
Okay. What I would do is I would not do a straight life. I would do at least a survivor, but really the better one is a 10-year period certain where someone will get paid for 10 years and all the money comes out over 10 years. Because my game plan for you guys would be, don't worry about the Roths right now. Don't even sweat it. From age 60 to age 70, you're going to pull money out of these traditional accounts. You don't have to convert even. What you have to do is just take the money out that you need. So we talked about this, that you need $6,500 a month, right? And if you think about that, for these 10 years, you need this, I'm going to round it, like about 80 grand a year. You should take that 80 grand a year, probably a little more because it's taxable, but let's even roll it up. You should be thinking about taking 100 grand a year out of anything that has not yet been taxed from ages 60 to 70. Okay. Even if you just did that for 10 years, you would still not be digging in deep. You'd probably take half of the money out of the 403Bs. But I don't think you need to be really thinking about conversions as much as having a strategy to get the money out of these accounts in those 10 years. And I would wait to claim Social Security and tell your wife that this is a strategy essentially to make sure that we get the money out of your accounts at a reasonable tax bracket. Hey, extra bonus. You leave Connecticut and you do this as a Texas resident. Does Texas have a state income tax?
No, it does.
That's when you want to do it. You want to try to get this money out of these accounts when you are Texas residents and in the lowest possible tax bracket. Honestly, if you think about it, you could take even more out. You could take $150,000 a year out over those 10 years and stay in the 22% tax bracket. You'll be in good shape. Again, you say to your wife, the reason why we're not taking it at 62 is we want to wait till 70 to take the Social Security money. Unless, look, if something changed, if you got a bad diagnosis and your life expectancy was much lower than what we think, then sure, you can start getting the money from Social Security at an earlier age. But if you're both in good shape, generally speaking, I'd wait till I'm 70. I'd pull all this money out of your 403Bs that have not been taxed yet and call it a day. It's Jill on Money, and we'll be right back. You're back. It's the Jill on Money Show, and we are here answering financial questions, trying to help you prioritize your competing needs in your financial life. It's so hard, and you don't have to do it alone. If you need some guidance, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Before we finish the program today, here's an email from Calvin who writes, I'm 3.5 years out from retirement. I'm 58 and an educator. I'll get my full pension in 3.5 years, which will be about $5,000 a month. I also have a military pension and VA disability of $4,000 a month. I plan to work in another area after I retire. I've got no consumer debt, and my wife also has a pension, but she is 4 years younger than I am. I have around $400,000 combined in a 403B, a 457, and a Roth. I have maxed out all of these accounts. I'm saving around $60,000 this year. I plan to do this for the next few years. I spend around $5,000 a month. My home will be paid off before I retire. No small children. I do plan to buy a dream car when my house is paid off. Am I missing anything? Boy, it doesn't sound like it. My goodness, Calvin, you sound like you're in fantastic shape. When you think about it, your full pension, plus the military pension, the VA disability, and your wife's pension, all that rolled up, my goodness, it is far in excess of the need, which is your $5,000 a month. So I don't think you should have any problems. And given the numbers that you've laid out, unless you're buying like some sort of weirdo Ferrari or something, it sounds like you should go out and buy that dream car, have some fun, and enjoy. Boy, what a great way to move into retirement. Lots of money, lots of cash flow, and low expenses. So pretty darn good. Okay, that's it. That is the program. If you want to get in touch with us, just go to JillOnMoney.com and click the Contact Us button. Our music is composed by Joel Goodman. Mark Talercio is our executive producer and king of all things web. We always ask that you try to do something nice for someone else today because it's going to make that person feel better. It's certainly going to make you feel better as well. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.